One of my first and most jarring realizations when I started learning more about autism was understanding that I had been acting my whole life. I'd become so good at acting that I didn't really know who I was without performing for people. I was sent to a psychiatrist. This was very new into my journey of realizing that I was autistic. I was still masking very heavily when I met this psychiatrist because I didn't know how to unmask. And I told her that I'd been acting my entire life. She explained that everyone is acting. Everyone has certain roles that they fill depending on where they are and who they're talking to. I took it literally, which I suppose is a sign of autism, only to find out later that neurotypicals don't feel the same around people they're close to. And for me, I still acted around all those people. I will perform a role that they need me to be, constantly monitoring facial expressions, people's energy, going off of an extensive script that I've accumulated during my 33 years on this earth. And it's only now, 3 to 4 years after my initial suspicion of being autistic, that I'm beginning to understand what masking actually means and slowly dipping my toes into letting go of the mask, which is very hard because I'm not even aware when I'm doing it half the time. I've done it so long that I don't even know who I am without the mask. If you'd like to see a video on tips on how to unmask, please let me know in the comments. I'd gladly do one and talk a bit more specifically about my journey to unmasking, because it has been quite the journey. My understanding is that there's a percentage of autistic women who have learned to mask so well that people can't detect that there's something different about them. I definitely fall into this category. When I told my nearest and dearest that I think I may be autistic, and then again when I was screened for ADHD and the results came back that I most likely am that too, nobody believed me. They were all shocked. Some people flat out disagreed with it, like they were the authority on neuro-divergence. It was a survival instinct. I must have been a very small child when I started noticing that people treated me better if I acted a bit. And I also thought that everyone did that it was just life. I remember when I switched schools, I thought I can become her, straight, funny, and likable. This was to a great detriment to myself. Masking takes enormous amounts of energy. You become sick from it. You become trapped. You have to always be on. Even when you're so exhausted, you could quite literally fall asleep standing. Because the moment you don't, people might start to see the real you. And that's just, too weird to show anyone. Also, it's the real you. You at your most vulnerable. If people criticize the real you takes the hit, not the mask that can be carefully revised, recrafted, and retried again. When I fell into complete autistic burnout, things that I could pull off before seemed miles away. I decided I was going to actively try to stop. So, how did I stop masking? Well, it started with getting fidget toys and fidgeting out in public, and the effects were instantaneous. Suddenly, when I came home from a food shop, which, oh my God, is the most exhausting, overstimulating experience. I dread doing a food shop. I wasn't completely shattered afterwards. I mean, I was tired, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't so exhausted that I could feel it in every cell, down to my bones, like I used to be. If you'd like to see a video on how I'm trying to unmask, because it's been quite a journey, and continues to be quite a journey, quite frankly, please comment down below and I'll get around to making that. I think it would be quite an interesting video. That was all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye!